Space exploration, human space flight. It's so risky. Ask the people who went up in that Polaris Dawn SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, and they will tell you how nerve wracking it can be to be out exposed to the vacuum of space 700 kilometers, 600 kilometers vertically upwards. Nothing to call backup as you step outside the Earth's atmosphere. Alright, but welcome to another update from me. I'm Akshat, as you can see, from India, and I love space exploration. I love ISRO, which is the Indian Space Research Organization, and I love everything that they do as something that brings humanity closer together to reach for the stars and to make life multiplanetary, as Elon Musk says. So all his idiosyncrasies apart, Elon Musk has done an excellent thing by letting SpaceX do what it does best, which is get us space bound. Okay, so here are a few updates. Today is of course the 27th of September, so it's World Tourism Day. That too, let's see when it becomes World Astro Tourism Day. Not just this date, any other date for that matter. Maybe it can be the date on which Sputnik was launched, the first artificial satellite of the Earth. And Earth is going to capture a second moon, speaking of satellites, which is a tiny asteroid called 2024 PT5, as part of a small asteroid belt that follows Earth. Right? So, for a few months, this little asteroid will tag along as we go round and round the sun to complete more Earth years, right? And get older and probably wiser. But that remains to be seen how wise we can get. Alright, there's of course tornado and hurricane warnings for the US. And Easter Island. Oh, somebody is going sky watching to Easter Island for the Ring of Fire. Okay. There will be an annular solar eclipse on October 2, 2024. Oh, Gandhi Jayanti in India, of course, but just 2 days before my alma mater, the Lawrence School Sanawar's Foundation Day, which we celebrate as Founders Day. Alright, great. And some calls for the FAA chief to resign from Elon Musk, who I just mentioned. And Blue Origin, which is probably the closest to SpaceX in terms of commercial spaceflight, has fired up the second stage of the New Glenn rocket, which is quite huge by any standards. Then let's talk about how Space Perspective, which is a space ballooning company, has made its first uncrewed balloon flight, and it reached the edge of space. So the space balloon ascent system carried Excelsior, which is its pressure pod, right, to the edge of space. Very nice, 30 kilometers above us, and I think it's a good attempt at low altitude space exploration, of course. Technically, the Kármán line around 100 kilometers up is where space is set to begin. But good news on the moon exploration front, that the Orion capsule, in which the Artemis astronauts of NASA will set foot on the moon before, of course, going for the usual orbiting and return missions, is effective in shielding them from space radiation. There's going to be a dramatic, as I said, Ring of Fire annular solar eclipse, which will be visible over parts of the Pacific Ocean, southern Chile and southern Argentina, which is why some skywatchers are heading to Easter Island, which is where I also want to go. But you know what, that's a very far-fetched bucket list to have Easter Island on your travel wanderlust plans, because it's very remote and very expensive to get to. Let's be frank about it. I mean, I don't have lakhs of rupees to throw around to fulfill a traveling dream. I got my kid to think about. All right. China's space plan has a delta wing design. Let's see what we come to know about it when it is publicly revealed. And SpaceX Crew 9 launch has been delayed, of course, due to tropical storm Helene. And US Space Force has partnered with India on a microchip factory. That is excellent news, not just for space exploration, not just for the Indian economy, but for tech talent who are looking for jobs or who are going to be looking for jobs in the near future, because layoffs have been happening like crazy. And I think semiconductor manufacturing is going to create a lot of jobs across the spectrum, all at all levels of the hierarchy, the corporate hierarchy. And if you are interested, if you have money to invest, let's get a semiconductor company going. All right, so SETI has a statement saying that we are close to discovering if life exists on other planets or other systems or not. But then, of course, those things are always mostly conjecture. And Boeing Starliner. So Boeing Starliner, for those of you who are not aware, was a Boeing capsule that was sent up pretty successfully, thankfully, without any major issues, to the International Space Stations with a 2-person crew. Indian origin Sunny Williams and Commander Wilmore, right? But it did not resolve those issues with its thrusters, etc. And so it came back down uncrewed. It came down safely, but it was decided not to take the risk to send the 2-person crew back with it. So Sunny Williams, the one who went up on the Boeing Starliner, and instead of an 8-day mission is now going to spend 8 months on the International Space Station, is going to take over as International Space Station Commander. In fact, she already has been, right? And SpaceX Crew 9 astronauts did go to Florida, but then again it was delayed. China's astronauts conducted emergency drills in space, and they actually released the video of it, in which they did a depressurization drill. So that is something that is very interesting, because China has the only other permanently inhabited space station other than the International Space Station in orbit. It's called Shenzhou, right? And it's called Tiangong. And Shenzhou is, of course, the spacecraft that takes them up and down. And there is an Einstein cross in a rare galaxy carousel, but that's more for astronomy, space viewer enthusiasts rather than space exploration, because we are not going to become galactic explorers. We are going to be planetary explorers first, and then maybe if we make it beyond the asteroid belt, we can target some of the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Which reminds me, Saturn has the most moons in the solar system, not Jupiter, as is thought by many of my colleagues. Wink. So congratulations to AJ for winning the team game today that I hosted as part of a trivia night, you might say. And SpaceX has taken out the Starship Super Heavy booster, which had splashed into the Pacific Ocean. And it's a pretty impressive photo. Yeah. Perseverance rover is now going to the Rim crater at Docks Castle, and I'm just amazed that at least these robots perform very well, beyond expectations, throughout their lifetimes, even over and above their lifetimes. And there was a Mars simulation base in the Arctic, which is a polar desert, called Devon Island, which is where they conduct these experiments for long-term astronaut isolation and settlement. So that went off nicely. Then there is the return of a NASA astronaut and 2 cosmonauts on the Soyuz MS-25 spacecraft. That has already happened. And Chang'e 6, China's lunar far side explorer, returned samples from the far side of the moon, and let's see what we get to know about our companion, our heavenly companion, from them, right? Rocket Lab had to abort a launch of a rocket that was going to put 5 Internet of Things satellites into orbit at the last second. NASA's Hidden Figures women were awarded congressional gold medals. There was a Harvest Moon super moon a week back, about a week back, more than a week back. And the Polaris Dawn astronauts, of course, splashed down safely, so that was a very nice thing. And a Polaris Dawn astronaut played Star Wars song in a music video that was beamed from their spacecraft, which also set a new record because 19 humans were orbiting Earth at the same time, which was a new record. The previous record was, I think, 16. Then finally there was a NASA solar sail which was tumbling as it snaps its first selfie. So the advanced composite solar sail system okay, so this is a huge solar sail which has been deployed to test the viability of this new technology, and that is the advantage of space exploration. Solar cells are just a small fraction of the technological advancements that we have been able to gain because of space exploration. So I have said that in many of my other videos as well, so you can check out my other space exploration videos for awesome acts fun, and let me know what you think in the comments about space exploration. And I just got to know that the Boeing Starliner suits will not be able to be worn on the SpaceX Crew Dragon, so they'll have to figure out a fix for that as well. Alright, then of course there was the launch of the 7,000th Starlink satellite by SpaceX, and let's see what we can figure out about our planet, about our species, as astronauts spend more and more time in space, and hopefully we can get back to the moon in this decade. Let's be realistic, right? Because it's already 2024, the end of 2024. 2-3 years it will take for the Artemis program to get to the point where we can land people on the moon again, and after that maybe we can start thinking about lunar bases and stuff. But the good part is that it's not just America anymore who's taking the lead in lunar base planning. It's also Russia and China, if we can get over these minor quibbles that we have on a global scale. But in any case, I'm always hopeful, eternally hopeful, that humankind will become multiplanetary, so that we can leave all these infighting behind us and progress beyond ideological differences and just focus on making life better for all humans, all creatures, making Earth better with the use of science and technology for the future generations, and cooperate for a brighter future. I am Akshat, once again from India. Check out my raps, rhymes, space exploration videos, my vlog basically about everything that I'm interested in. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Namaste.